Hey, welcome to this edition of Man Cave Technology. Today, we're talking about the new Apple Watch Series 4. I have both my initial unboxing impressions and what I think after using it for about a week. And I'll admit, I was a little underwhelmed when the whole thing started. Okay, so I am stoked. Finally got the Apple Watch Series 4. This is going to be awesome. So I'm really interested to see if my impressions of it in person are of what it's like, you know, when you just see photos of it. So first off, here you go. The beautiful Apple Watch. There's that looks different. I don't know. Look at these. It's like these circular things on the bottom. That's pretty funky. I need a better something to open things with. These skizzers, and I really want to try to keep, oh wow, I'm an idiot. There's actually a pull tab right here to break that. That is freaking cool. That is freaking cool. So I'm really stoked about this. I've had all of the Apple Watches and I just kind of keep selling them. And so I've got just one thing that bums me out. This box is actually a little bent. That's sad. However, I'm sure the contents are fine. This thing is wigging me out. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, this is unlike what I remember of other boxes. So wow, we got a lot of watches in there. This is definitely different than what I have seen, and I'm just kind of lift this up, and interesting. So they have the watch over here and the band over here. So, and it's got this little felt cover. Have I missed the unboxings of this? I guess I have. I feel like I watched a lot of videos and I had no clue it would be in a felt cover. So I'm removing that, and this is my first view of the screen. And well, it looks like an Apple Watch. Is the screen bigger? Yes. Is the screen bigger in a way that makes me think, oh my goodness, this screen is really big? No. Oh, and the band comes under it. So very crafty Apple. That's different because I think all the other ones I've received, the band was attached. So that's a little bit of a different strategy, which is actually pretty cool. And I really wish I could have got a different band, the one that already comes
1 week later.
Okay, so now I've spent a week with the Apple Watch. I even put on one of my other bands, and I have some things to say. So first off, I do appreciate the larger size. I think the screen size is nice. It's definitely not as dramatic as I thought it would be. But after using it for a little bit, I now really appreciate that extra space that I have on the screen to see some things that maybe used to not be there. And the fact that it fits so nice up against your wrist is really nice. Big revolution? No, but just a nice little design change. As far as speed, I really don't find it to be that much faster than my Series 4. As far as cellular connectivity, I have tested it a little bit, and I feel like it maybe does do a slightly better job than the previous one. And some of that's supposed to be because the bottom is ceramic, which allows those signals to get out a little bit better. There are some things that are a combination of this watch and watchOS 5 that I just don't feel like really do what I want them to do yet. One of those is turning your wrist and just talking to Siri. It seems to rarely work for me. What's the weather? It doesn't even know that I want to talk to it. What is the weather? What time is it?
It's 5:35 p.m.
So it took several tries, and I have never been that satisfied with Siri. I just haven't been. I use Alexa a whole lot more. I use Alexa and Google Home a lot, and I find that they're frustrating but get the job done. Siri never seems to really work that well for me. What's the weather?
Here's the forecast for today.
Just when I think Siri is performing better and I can depend on it, it doesn't work. And the times that it doesn't work is just when I need it. Now, something rare happened that gave me a great chance to really test out this watch. I actually left home and I forgot my iPhone. That never happens, but in this one case it happened, and I was already leaving, going to a dinner, and I knew that there was not enough time to go back and get my phone. So I thought, well, this would be great. It'll give me a night where I will have to depend on the watch for everything. And I have to say, depending on the watch for everything is still really frustrating. Yes, it has LTE, but that doesn't do any good if you can't do simple tasks. I was trying to copy an address from a text message and paste it into the text message for someone else. There's not a way to do that. I had to literally try to memorize the address and then type it out myself. Basic tasks that you should just be able to do are still pretty impossible with the watch. So my kind of ultimate thoughts are, and this is kind of getting back in general to the Apple Watch. I think the Apple Watch is an awesome product. I think they're doing a great job. I think it's a great wearable. A lot of the features are awesome. Very impressed by things. But I don't feel like we're at a place yet, like in the Dick Tracy movies, where you can just go out with your watch and be covered. I think it's a shame because we should be close to being able to do that. And so it's frustrating that the watch still misses some of those pieces that would make that happen. And I don't know what it takes to make Siri consistently work on the Apple Watch, but Apple, if you can figure that out, please do, because the few times I've just needed it to work and depended on it to send a text message or to do something, it just never does. We have the EKG for the heart, but it's a feature that isn't out yet, so you can't really do a whole lot of testing or look at it, and it really doesn't do anything good for you. And I think it's kind of disappointing. Most of the people who I run into on the street think that all these things exist. Group FaceTime, the EKG on the watch. And maybe when you're watching this video, they do exist, but as of a week after they launched the iPhone and the watch, we still don't have those features, and we're waiting for them. The heart rate monitor is the same technology, kind of repackaged. And for what it's worth, that's cool. It's yet to see how big of an improvement that is. The new accelerometers allow the watch to have better data so that it can detect falls and things like that, which that's a really cool feature. But once again, it's not something that probably compels someone to go out and get a new Apple Watch unless your Apple Watch is really, really old. So here's my thoughts and recommendations. If you have an Apple Watch Series 3, unless you're just someone who loves being on the cutting edge, or maybe you have someone that you want to pass that watch along to, I would say this is not a compelling upgrade. Now, if you had something like you were obsessed with performing EKGs or thought you were going to fall, then that would be great. But it's definitely not compelling for the average person to pay more to get this watch. You're not going to really notice a whole lot, and you'll probably think, why did I do this? Unless money's no object and you just like to have new nice things. If you're Apple Watch Series 2 or before that, I would seriously take a look at bumping up to this watch. When you start getting back into Series 2 and compare it to 4, you're going to be faster. There are more features. watchOS 5 tends to run better on it. And I think that at that point, these upgrades and features are worth upgrading to. As far as the future, what I would love to see Apple do is just make the watch where it can work better when it's on its own, because I think that's where we're headed. It would be great to live in a day and age where I can just conduct just the basic business on my watch, like texting people and making phone calls. And yes, it can do that, but it doesn't have some necessary functions, just like copy and paste an address or some other just basic ways to do things that would make life so much better on the watch. And I don't think these are a big deal for Apple to do. So Apple, if you're listening, just do it. So hey, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you've watched this far, I really appreciate it. You know, this YouTube channel is kind of interesting. Sometimes some of the older videos, a lot of people are still watching them. I have like a list of 150 videos that I could make. Sometimes it just gets difficult to make those videos because it's like, is anybody there? Is anybody watching? Does anybody care? So let me know if you do, because I'm considering either not making a whole lot of videos or making like a ton of videos. So definitely let me know, and I'll be back.